Welcome to the channel, A31 Novel. We're back with the now successful multi-graft. Again, first it was the Carmens that took. We're here to splint. You have to be careful on established rootstocks. They can grow pretty vigorously and you will be derailed in the first windstorm. So watch them, check it out. That's a successful splint right there. That was just my safety, my guarantee. I immediately did it on the spot. But as you can see, the vigor was derailed and throttled by the shoots. So we're gonna clean up the shoots and splint the good grafts. Okay, because there was some dieback on some grafts. So you have to watch them. This is a month after they were unveiled. And then check it out, the successful gems. There's several successful gems and I'll show you one. Here's one right here. It has a little spider friend right there. Check it out. So that's one. That's a successful gem on the gem axis. Again, clean all this up. This died back. So I'm going to cut it back to here. I don't expect any new growth. This will probably die back to here. Okay, clean all this up, all this up. This is a good graft right there. Okay, but on that same axis is this other one. This one's thicker. And even a third. Again on that limb. So clean up all the suckers. And then on this one, it hasn't done anything, but I'm still gonna leave it. There wasn't any good buds on that, so I guess it's just still there. So I'm gonna favor the graft by cleaning up the suckers. All right, let me clean up the suckers and let me see which ones are the let me identify the grafts that died so that I don't have to splint them. All right, and to splint them, anything works. Branches, lumber, and even the plastic sticks. All right, and then let me draw from my shirt, landscaper's tie. Okay, some landscaping tie. All right, let me get to it. Once again, disinfect your tools, and I'll disinfect between axes. So all the Carmen's gonna be all the same, but when I jump over to the gem axis, I'll clean it up. So again, my graft's here. Anything that's not my graft has to go. Okay? And at the collar. It's at the collar. And then remove any little small buds. At the collar, you should be fine. Leave a little nub, it'll die back and fall off. Again, all of these rootstock suckers. I'm tempted to keep one because it does flower and it might need cross-pollination, but there's other trees around here and it hasn't done anything. So if I leave something, it'll be like later, maybe after 1 or 2 years. I won't come back as vigorously. I won't set it back. But for now, I want production. I want to ramp up production. So all these, and I should have been back sooner, but that's to avoid all these wounds. But we'll be all right. I might need to do some PM, some preventative maintenance with the liquid cop, and that's fine because that's just more content for me to walk you guys through on things to do. But yeah, it's non-stop. It's non-stop, constant work and all those. I'm gonna have to get in the cage. Let me get down. Okay, I'm in the cage. I'm in here. Removed all the suckers, and then one more time just for the drill and exercise, and also because this one's a little different. I'm new to this too. So again, anything that's not your graft has to go. And then walk around at different angles, get under it, because I could feel some over on this side. So I'll need to check it out. But this was a side graft. And so you can see it wants to push, but so is the host branch. So let's decapitate the host branch. And let's hope that runs back and dies back and now favors our graft. And then this was a good cleft for whatever reason. I'm not about to do this. Yes, I am. I got it. Bad cut. I'll clean it up. And then now this one. Probably the most vigorous one. Check it out, so much so that it's flowering. But I'm going to take off the flower on this one. Again, anything leading up to the graft has to go. These rootstock suckers. And then right here, the flower. Take it off. I do not want this holding flower. It's so nice. Wouldn't want it to break, and I could already see it's kind of wobbly. So I'm gonna crutch this. So there, removed the flower. Left only the vegetative growth. This one wimpy. So they are now gonna start to compete against each other. And so we can even see further graft dieback possibly. And then you can see I cleaned it up, but was able to identify that that's a dud. So at the collar again, walk your tree 360 degrees, give it a good rub down. Okay. Okay, so we're at our strongest graft success. Check it out. And so we want to first identify the union, cleft graft, right there. And you want to come up, obviously secure above the graft, but I would say one better, to the collar. Each avocado limb at some point has this collar full of buds. And if it were to die back, I'm pretty sure it can resprout because there's mixed buds. There's production buds, there's mixed buds, and vegetative buds. I can go to this one, but this one's actually the one that's kind of more flush. So again, secure. And then I want to be above or at the collar. Okay. And then the stick, it's probably a one by half. Check out my thumb as reference. So you want it to be light, not too heavy. All right, let me tie. Okay, that's one, several loops, but now I'm gonna cross tie. And then also very important, keep your landscaper's tie flat. Okay, you don't wanna like scrunch it up and then have the edge of it dig into the tree. Okay, so flush, flat. All right, now I'm gonna cross tie to reinforce laterally. All right, try to cross tie, but it wouldn't catch. But even then, I feel it's pretty solid. And then now just tie. And the second tie was at the base of the actual limb that I grafted. The actual shoot. All right, and then now just tie up. I could do again at the collar, and then even one more. Let me get to it. Okay, now tying into the actual successful graft. Again, it's loose. There's some play, but there's lateral branches that will catch it and will prevent it from sliding down. You just want to keep it within the stake. And right here, I left the tail. I'll wrap around this other second lateral shoot that's growing pretty vigorous above the union, so it's the desired cultivar. Now just tie it in like that, just to slightly reinforce it. Okay, looks good. All right, just a loose loop to serve as a collar for the neighboring lateral branch, because if it were to snap, well, it's also pretty close to the union, and so we wouldn't want an infection there either. So again, the lateral branch has been braced, and now the final tie is going to be at the top. All right, and the 1, 2, 3, 4th and final tie is at the top. Again, it could be loose, just a loose collar, and it's not going down. There's lateral branching. Take a look, let me pan out. And I'm feeling way better, check it out. Okay, it's reinforced. Winterizing, winter's coming. All right, let me do that to all the rest of the grafts, but I don't want to just drag this video out. All right, check it out. All the vertically oriented graft I reinforced. I'm gonna wait for the lateral ones to push a little bit harder, but yeah, check this out. All right, redwood stake right there, a branch. Again, this one I had already done. This one, another little redwood branch splint. I'll come back to that one. And this one is struggling. It's struggling, but also the limb is pretty sun damaged, so I might select against this in favor of this one. Now we go over to the gem. And this one I'm gonna just clean it up. I'll be back whether I want to or not. You have to. It's a lot of goes, it's a lot of work, and that's why I'm here showing you. A lot of people think that it's just jab, stick, and go, but not on avocados. Deciduous, yeah. Avocados, nah. It'll almost always want to reject the graft. As you can see, a lot of sucker growth. Okay, let me just clean this up. Let me disinfect my pruners. All right, disinfected. Let's do this one together again. At the collar, these are thinning cuts. You want to eliminate these suckers, and hopefully they never come back. They give up. Sometimes they give up. Sometimes they keep coming back year after year. That's why it's important to identify your graft. Don't lose the point, the union point. Again, this one failed. And I'm expecting this to die back all the way here. Again, this one right here, rootstock sucker right there. Just clean it up. And then right here. Okay, and then just this last one right here. But there's our little buddy right there. Sorry. You're good, bro. My bad. All right, and again, just give the limb a good rub down. Any new shoots that are coming, any new bud swell, try to pop them as little nubs. Okay, just to avoid injury of having to remove them later. This right here on the union, on the graft, dehydrated, so, but again, we're still good right there. All right, that's the video. Thank you everyone for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for updates. Thank you. Peace.